Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Cryptid Warfare. Today is a special limited edition because we have not only a special guest that we're talking to, but we have one who is in this room.
Hotel room.
Ooh, don't tell the wives. With us. So we're all hanging out. Yeah, and I'm one of your hosts, Z Baby, with the other luscious, luxurious, classy, underrated
Beaner. And then we got with us.
Kicked out.
Luscious lips Kevin. Luscious lips Kevin. Come in here so I can kiss your toes. From where the weird ones are. And then we got a special guest on tonight, guys. Tommy Boy.
Whoop, whoop.
A great day.
Man, I wish I was in that room with you guys.
Dude, I wish you were, man. It's a king
Even though
bed. We can all hang out and tell stories.
Yeah, man.
Make a fire.
And then I'll fall.
Make a blanket for it.
Yeah. And I'll fall asleep in like 5 seconds.
We could listen to Kevin's audiobook.
Yeah, fart.
Inside joke. It was an edit. Anyway, started farted.
Oh, boys.
How long have you been doing podcasts, did you say?
I've been doing it now for about a year and a half. Yeah. So not too long, but quite long. Yeah. I'm enjoying it though, man.
Oh man. But dang, yeah, year and a half, man. That hasn't been
It hasn't even been. Dang. This coffee's great.
Oh yeah, I can quick short story. What downstairs? I get some coffee. I get some, Kevin gets some, and then Zook spills all his coffee. Let me set it right real quick. Zook spills all his coffee, and then right after that, Zook went to go wipe his butt with this.
Oh
no, it's not. It's just coffee.
Is that definitely coffee?
Oh, God. It smells like your finger.
No, what happened was Zook spilled his coffee.
What's been going on in that room, guys? How long have you been there?
I don't know if you really want to come over here.
Zook spilled his coffee in front of the worker and just looked at him like, really, dude? And then he's oh, I'm sorry. And then he does it again.
I know. I hit it with my fat elbow, man. This thing, I don't know where it came from. And the same thing happened last night during another podcast. I was like I talk with my hands and I just slapped that thing like.
He's like,
yeah, I do it. I actually did it the other day when I was talking to Kevin. I had a nice cup of tea next to me, and do you remember before we started recording?
Yeah,
smashed it everywhere, man.
He was talking. He just goes like that.
So excited.
I can imagine the wonderful words he might have said.
He's getting ready for that backhand. Oh man. Yes.
Drink your skin.
All right, big guy. Let's get into it, man. So you said you started about a year and a half ago, and what led you doing this podcast?
Oh, I love the paranormal. I love all things ghosts, cryptids, UFOs. I love it all, man. I've had experiences myself, and I never used to like talking about it. That's the weird thing. Like a couple of years ago, I just didn't. I felt like if you talk about it, you invite this stuff in, which I think you do anyway. But but now I'm talking about it every night, so I've gone completely the other way. But I used to listen to a lot of podcasts. That was my favorite sort of. I love movies and stuff like that, but podcasts have always been my favorite thing. So I thought I'd like to do a podcast, and here we are.
So you said you're doing one about every night, bro. You and Kevinsky are like crushing it, man. When it comes to podcasts, you guys keep like putting out episodes every freaking day, dude.
We do like 2 a week, I guess. Two a week at the moment. I'm doing. I know Kevin's the same, really, 2 a week. But yeah, man.
Sometimes.
I don't know what that was, but
what's that, man?
It's a heart.
It's like
Is it?
You see what it is now?
I see what that is, man.
For those of you that cannot see you and you're just listening in, that's fine.
Bigger than mine. It's bigger than mine.
Yeah, it was a funny note. I had right before I got out in the streets on law enforcement, I was working at a prison and an inmate did that to me. He's all, "Hey, OC Medina, look at this." I was like, "Put it away." I was like, "Oh, never mind, that's your finger." So anyways,
oh man, that's a good one.
yeah.
I'm gonna be
So what you do is you get your pen, you draw a line right here, and a line right there, and you draw a line right down the middle,
Man, looks-
and then you
Getting a little
curve it.
crazy. Anyway,
So anyways,
I'm gonna try it right now.
Tell them where
Ah!
you can be found.
So on all the podcast platforms, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all the main ones, YouTube now, started putting some videos on
oh,
YouTube.
there we go. How long you been on YouTube?
nice.
It's a new
Oh,
thing.
yeah, how long have you been
But-
doing YouTube?
When I first started the podcast, I did set up a YouTube channel just because I wanted the name. I never really put episodes out on YouTube because I love YouTube, but there's things that you can't say on YouTube. Like, it's not free speech.
Yeah.
So that's why I wanted this podcast to be free speech. I wasn't putting episodes. Now I put what I can on YouTube. If I feel like there's something that YouTube won't like, I just don't put it on there. But I've just started doing that, really, YouTube, the last month or so. But yeah, man. It's
think
different, isn't it? Because it's video. I do put some audio episodes on YouTube as well, but video is a different ball game as well. Just getting used to the audio stuff. And then
Oh yeah, that could be a while. It's funny because earlier we were talking about, all the hate you receive from behind the scenes once you really start getting a following. And one person was like, "Man, the audio sucks," and then Drewski was just like, "Thanks." I mean, because like whenever you're starting off, like you're learning, so it's not best to spend a whole lot of money because you don't even know how to use what you have.
You're learning as you go. Yeah. I actually think getting hate is a positive thing. I take that as positive. Someone gives me some abuse on Instagram or whatever, I'm like, that's good, man, because you're reaching people.
Yeah.
even if it's
Not
not
gonna win
nice.
everybody.
Yeah, that's it. Not everyone's gonna like it, but
And their
It's what it
opinions
is,
are
what
their
it is.
opinions. Like what they think of you is none of your business anyway.
exactly.
When they have those opinions about you more than likely before they ever met you, like it's crazy. They're just looking for something.
Yeah, but not only that too, like a lot of these people are basically they're like all up on the sidelines. They're not in the game playing, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I just take I don't pay them no mind, but other than that,
No.
I like reading their comments and using that as fuel or just laughing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I get abuse, I just like it. That's what I do.
I knew it.
I'm like, yeah.
You're right now, guys. Yeah,
Yeah.
like to get freaky.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Whatever floats your boat, Yeah, I like it. I like it when people get nasty. I'm like, yeah.
My
Cool.
bro Braxton, what up, Kurt?
Oh, Braxton. Meanwhile, so let's see. How long ago were we on your podcast? A couple months.
Oh man, yeah, a couple of months ago. Yeah, I had a good time, man.
So share some stories that you've learned from since then, or has anything wild happened to you?
Oh man, I've had quite a few experiences. I've had quite a lot of paranormal experiences. It started for me quite young. I grew up in a haunted house. Standard things used to go missing in the house. Nasty vibe. The whole family felt it. But one night when I was 10 years old, I woke up during the night and there was a man sitting there at my desk who wasn't my dad. Just looked like, to me, he looked like William Shakespeare. That's how he looked. He had that sort of look about him. And he was just sitting there, just sort of looking up in my direction, but whether he's looking at me, I'm not sure. But obviously I was 10 years old, I freaked out massively, called my mum in the room. She couldn't see him, but he was still there. This guy was still sitting there at my desk, and I'm going mad. Mum, there's a man in the room. And she couldn't see, calmed me down somehow, and made me stay in my bed in the room. And I just remember.
Oh, dang, man.
Yeah, to this day, I don't know how I stayed in the room, but I did. And I went under the covers, sweating up, just looking every now and again. And this guy was just sitting there all night. And then I woke up in the morning. He was gone. I never saw him again, but I knew that there was more to this world. And that's where it really started for me, I guess,
Yeah.
But, yeah, man, it was pretty scary.
Go ahead. I had something. Go ahead.
What are some? Sorry, I had to emphasize because I knew what you were gonna do. And once again, if you're just listening in, he just shoved like his thumb on my goozle and just started just going to town. Not my Adam's apple. I'm like, no, shut your mouth.
Oh,
My wife calls it a goozle.
Goozle.
Yeah, dude. She's very creative.
man, she's very.
But man, well, I forgot what it was now.
Was it completely dark when you saw this guy?
It was all the lights were off in the house,
Yeah.
but you could see in the bedroom. The street lights used to shine in the room, and we had like these Fred Flintstone curtains, so you could always see like I know that sounds.
I got
You could always see
have
Fred Flintstone and Barney Rubble were just everywhere in the room,
Yeah.
but. So you could see in the room, because I was always scared as a kid. Like I've always been scared of the dark, always felt like there's stuff in the room, but I've always had that weird vibe, especially in that house.
I get you, man. I get you. I think everyone. I don't think anyone's as scared of the dark. I think they're afraid of what's in the dark.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still scared of the dark now. I'm not gonna lie to you. If the wife's away or I'm in a hotel or something, I never sleep in the dark. I always have the telly on.
Okay.
To this day, I just don't like it.
And he keeps his BB gun with him all the time.
Yeah, I've got a BB gun as well.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
there we go.
Dangerous. I'm dangerous.
I'd be scared.
Look out, ghosts. There's
Yeah,
silver BBs in there.
That's all I'm allowed, man.
I know.
Man,
Yeah, you gotta get.
It looks like a real gun.
3D print machine. And
Yeah.
print you out a Glock.
Glock. And you have a big old Glock.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Okay, so so back to that entity. When you saw it, how tall you think it was?
Ooh, well, he was sitting down, so I don't know, but he was a big man. I remember the suit he was wearing. It was like a brownie color suit. He had long hair, bit of a beard. It wasn't William Shakespeare, but that's the sort of era I think he was from, whoever this guy was. But talking to my mum this week, actually, and I found out something this week, so this is an exclusive for you. I was talking to my mum about the house, and we talk about it all the time now, but we knew the guy that we bought the house off, or the lady we bought the house off, her husband died in that house.
Okay.
And he was a doctor, and his office was right underneath our bedroom. And I just find it weird that he was sitting at the desk. I mean, I'm not saying that was him, but it could be, I don't know. But I found that out this week that he was a doctor. So that's an exclusive.
Let's see how he died. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. I don't know. I think he was just sick. I'm assuming he just died of, I think he was an older guy, so old age. But yeah. My brother in the same room, he saw two red eyes. He woke up one night and just saw two red eyes looking at him.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah, he was on the bottom bunk. And the night that I saw
buddy. That's why I love
Yeah.
being on the top bunk.
I was the older
Get
brother,
you
so I was
first,
on
man.
top.
Right.
But the night that I woke up and was going crazy because there was a man in the room, he slept through the whole thing. But my mum remembers coming in, and because the thing was, as a kid, I would always get up during the night and be scared and try and get into their room. And obviously I was 10 years old, and I'm sure my dad was like, can't be letting him come in our room anymore. He's 10. And so it was like a big thing that I had to stay in there that night. And it was a bit of a battle. And my mum made me stay in the room, and that was it. But I was terrified. But
Yeah.
yeah, man.
Well, what do they think about it now? Like, since you still that is your story.
Yeah. Well, my mum, she jokes now and says sorry that she
I'm sorry, buddy.
The scars are still there, Mom. The scars are still there.
because my mum's had experiences and stuff, so she knows there's more out
It's
there.
not new to her, yeah.
So, and she never saw anything in that house, but she
felt it.
we all got that vibe. Yeah. There was always weird noises, things going missing, things in the corner of your eye, that sort of thing.
Things
Like
going missing, like what? Like them, like hiding keys or anything like that?
yeah, things like that. This is what my mum and dad said. Like things used to go missing, and yeah, it was just like the classic haunted house sort of stuff. And at the time, like when we lived there, we never talked about it. It was only when we left. So I moved when we was 12. We left that house, and it was only when we left that my dad was like, I'm glad we got out of there, man. Like, we was only little, so we didn't really know a lot about what was going on, you know. But yeah, it was a weird house, and it was right near a graveyard as well. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but
See, sometimes because normally where there was blood spilled, like that's normally a portal or like dimension. Like it's weird.
Yeah.
But it's crazy because wow, where was that? The Amityville Horror. Like, it's in New York. Okay,
Yeah.
like that house, I believe. It's in the process of. I think it's been sold, but because that couple that went to go investigate that house just went to that one, not the other ones. That house has like, even though it's one of the haunted ones in America, it's like probably like a light type of hunting. When the other ones are heavily haunted in that area. And there were like all these people buried on that land. I think Civil War soldiers, something like that.
Yeah, and
I can see that.
The couple you're talking about are the Warrens, right?
I don't remember.
Yep, it's the Warrens.
And they're bullshit, actually.
Really?
Yeah, it's been coming out that a lot of the stuff that they did was bullshit.
So it was just basically.
Yeah. And Ed Warren used to abuse Lorraine like a lot. And he had a 15-year-old mistress who he got pregnant.
15.
Oh, that pedo, man.
So,
Jeez.
and then they made her get an abortion and shit. And when they were doing the movies, Lorraine told them to leave like that stuff out.
Well, of
I
course.
bet she did. Yeah.
Fear for life,
Jeez,
yeah,
man.
for sure.
So
Yeah, man.
Yeah. I didn't know that.
That one that the one that the second one covered, a lot of that was, I mean, that was like a true, like the hauntings themselves are legit, but the Warrens, they were, and like they weren't even like involved with the one in England as much as the movie portrays them. They just showed up one day and the family was like, we don't want you here.
Really?
And they just like hung out outside until they like broke down and let them in. But they weren't even like as involved as the movie suggested.
Jeez, man.
So
yeah, because the movie's all based around them, really, isn't it?
It's pretty much,
Like,
yeah, it is. It is. So
jeez, man. I knew that there was something.
The movie's phenomenal. They did a phenomenal job with it. Obviously, it's Hollywood. With movies, they embellish stuff. I mean, it's a historical fiction, like books. Like somebody writes a fictional story around a historical event, So that's basically what the movies do. They just like throw like fictional shit in there. But Ed was not a fucking good dude.
Yeah, man.
So, but Lorraine was definitely a medium. She definitely, like, a lot of the stuff that she psychically could do, like, she can do.
Yeah.
So,
but her husband was just a piece of crap, and he was just using her and abusing her, and
absolutely,
yeah.
Because she solved like murders and stuff like that, didn't she?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Man, I didn't know that. I didn't know that about the 15-year-old mistress and things like that. Jeez, man.
She might have been. She might have been 17, but still pretty fucking gross.
Yeah,
pedo right there, bro.
Yeah.
They had her living in the house, and I think they told people that she was Ed's niece or something like that.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's fucking. It's
piece of work, dude.
Yeah, it's fucking.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that is, man.
All right, man. We'll keep going. What else you got, brother? Keep
So in that house, in the same house, this was after seeing the man. I was in my mum and dad's bedroom, and this was the other time I saw something else that was solid. And I was mucking around in their room. I was like, they had like mirrors in their room. Don't know what for. But I was mucking around in front of the mirrors, and I saw a naked lady walk past me. And I looked, and I saw her walk into. My mum and dad had a bathroom in their room, walked straight into the bathroom. And it was a naked lady just walked past me, blonde, just like my mum. So I've just started talking to her. Mum, walked into the bathroom, talking, just thinking she's in there, thinking nothing of it, because she used to walk around naked sometimes. And there was no one in the bathroom. And I just remember walking in and being like, what? Oh, sorry, it's my alarm going off. And I ran downstairs. And my mum was there fully clothed. And I was like, I just seen you walk past, and it wasn't her, obviously, but So that was the other time I saw a solid something walk past. Yeah, it was weird, man. The house was weird. And when we left that house, so I was 12 when we left that house. I always find this quite strange because I said earlier I'm always scared of the dark and stuff.
Yeah.
The first night in our new house, I had my own room, and I remember thinking at the time, this is weird, because I was laying in my bed, all the lights are off, and I just remember thinking, this is weird that I'm not scared, that I don't feel any fear. And I just, yeah, it's weird, man.
Yeah, it's definitely kind of weird when it comes to like the demonic and spiritual and stuff like that. Like I was telling Zook and Kevin earlier, like when it comes to demons, ghosts, poltergeists, whatever you want to call them, they, I kind of think of them as like nouns, right? They attach themselves to persons, to place, or things, right? People can be possessed by them, or not possessed, but oppressed by them, or they can take over an object, which we call charged objects, or a house. Basically, they can own like property. So I'm really surprised that whatever entity was there, that he didn't attach themselves to you guys or follow you guys to wherever you guys were at.
Yeah,
I'm saying so. But if that's the case, if you had peace wherever you're at the house you guys moved to, I think that entity was just there to stay at that house and that house only.
Yeah. Well, things did happen in that house.
Did they?
Eventually.
Okay.
Not straight away. For what I can remember.
It found you. It's like, I find you. Got wedding crashers.
So in that house.
Tommy tickles.
Yeah. In that house, it wasn't until I was 21 that something stands out to me that happened in that house. It was really weird. So I was at university at the time, and I used to stay at uni during the week and come home on the weekends. And me and my brother, we started sharing a room again upstairs. We had our own little floor, basically. My dad built another floor, and me and my brother took it. It was like our own little flat, but it was, so we had our own bathroom, our own, it was just our own little place in the house. So we went back upstairs. We was together upstairs, and I remember waking up one night, and there was like a man standing over me, like the shape of a man. And I just woke up, and I just thought it was my brother.
Yeah.
And it scared the crap out of me. I took a swing at him because I thought it was my brother just trying to scare me. He was just standing over me, and I took a swing at him, and this thing's disappeared. I've obviously made a bit of a noise when I've done this because my brother on the other side of the room woke up, turned his light on. I was like, bruv, what's the matter? What's the matter? I was like, I thought you were standing over me. And I just put it down to being stressed, tired, probably had too much to drink the night before. That's just what I put it down to. It was really scary waking up and seeing a man just standing over me.
Shadow figure above you?
It was a shadow figure, yeah. But at the time, I didn't know what shadow figures were. I know obviously ghosts and things, but I didn't in my head go, that was a shadow figure.
Yeah.
It wasn't until later on listening to podcasts, and then I was, I've had that experience.
Yeah.
And I've recently had that experience in the house I'm in now, where I've woke up and there's a shape of someone standing there.
Ooh, how recent was this?
Oh man, this is not that long ago. The start of this year. I've had it 3 times in this house where I woke up and there's been something there.
Have you had like a sleep paralysis with it, or you've been free to move mobile?
Free to move. I have suffered with sleep paralysis, but this is not sleep paralysis. This is when I get sleep paralysis. It's when I'm trying to go to sleep before I've gone to sleep. That's when I get it. This has been when I wake up and it's just something there. Yeah. And it happened quite recently. This happened really recently. I woke up and I thought my wife was sitting up. And I was like, and I sort of got up and I went to like rub her back because I thought, why is she sitting up? I thought there was something wrong. And I've sort of gone through it. And I've looked down and she's laying there. And I was like, that's weird, man. Well, that's weird.
Time to go back to sleep.
Yeah, it's like what happened to my sister.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember when her and I were on your show. That's what she thought.
Yes. Yeah.
With her ex-boyfriend or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't think she reached up to put her hand on him though, but she was just like, she said something to him, and then he was like, I can't remember what she turned, and he turned to her, and then she rolled over, and then he was gone or something like that.
Yeah.
So
stuff, man.
It is freaky.
Yeah.
I think I would have cried if my hand went through somebody that I thought was sitting next to me.
That's the way. I was freaked out. Freaked out, and I was like, but the weird thing is since when it's happened in the house that I'm in now, don't get me wrong, I'm scared. When you wake up and there's someone standing there, even if I wake up and one of the kids is standing there, like that freaks me out. That freaks me out.
Yeah.
But it's not a fear like I felt before where I was like terrified. It's sort of like waking up. It's a shock, obviously, because you're seeing someone standing there. But it's not like that fear that I had before.
Right.
I don't know if that's because I'm just getting more used to this stuff. I don't know. But
probably, I mean, because when I've been on your the recent one, and I was telling you the shadow figures that I personally experienced, and I was telling these guys too. I just look at them and I'll be like, all right, what's up? Or something. Yeah. I'll roll back over to go to sleep, or I'll just walk by them and be like, not even pay attention to them.
Basically. It's weird, man. It's weird.
Well, so much of this stuff thrives off of your fear.
It does.
And it's crazy. Yeah. And then I forgot what it is, like the energy from like batteries and things like that. I mean, but it requires a lot of energy that they need to remain, I guess, in this realm.
Yeah.
Sorts. Yeah. So that's their food, I guess. So it's, I don't know.
It also kind of reminds me of, okay. Like the elites, right? Okay. Like what do they need from children after, like basically on like when they scare them, like what is it called?
Adrenochrome.
Yeah. Adrenochrome. I wonder if spirits need like spiritual, like adrenochrome. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, if you get scared, they thrive off of that. That's like their cocaine. But if you don't do it and you don't pay them no mind, they're just like, all right, well, this sucks.
I had a guest on, Brian Bowden. He that's his theory with shadow figures, that he says that they come and obviously they feed off your fear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they're coming. It's like Monsters Inc. They're coming to collect your fear, basically, for whatever purpose.
The same thing on like demonology too, right? Like demons and stuff like that. If they thrive off your emotions, fear, anger, rage, all that. But if you don't give them that power and you don't give them any of that, they basically starve.
Yeah.
Same thing with like shadow people. If you don't give them any fear, they just say, okay, what the hell are we gonna do? You know what I mean?
It's like when you talk to someone in a haunted house, it gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. Is that because you're giving it that power?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you letting it get worse? If you sort of see it and you're like, oh, whatever, is that's making it weaker or whatever? And it's not going to be
that too. And also like me, I always go about things biblically, but people know their authority in Christ. You know what I mean? That stuff right there shouldn't make them scared. It should piss them off. Like, get the hell out of my house. You know what I mean? And just, anyways, I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah. Tommy, you should tell them about your grandparents' holiday home.
Yes. Yeah, man. Yeah, that was weird. So when I was 14, my nan and granddad wanted to buy a holiday house for us that we could go to on the weekends and stuff like that. They did actually have an old cottage that they sold, and this was sort of the replacement for it. And they were looking at a few different places, and they found this house in Norfolk that they really fell in love with. And it was a lovely house. Like, it was a beautiful house. It was really big, but it was quite cheap on the market, which is weird. So the whole family's gone down there to see this house one weekend, and my nan and granddad are like, we really think this is going to be good for the family. Like, we can all go down and stay there on the weekends every now and again as a family and stuff. And as soon as we all got there, so it was my aunts, my uncles, my dad, my mum, and my brother, we got there. We all got this bad vibe. As soon as we walked in, we was like, this house feels weird. And even as a kid, even as me and my brother, like, I was only 14, so my brother was 11. Even then, we were like, oh, this is weird, man. And my nan was like, this can be your room. And me and my brother, I remember just looking at each other like, we ain't staying here. And it had all like weird little corridors. that led to nothing. So like literally, so there was obviously something there at one point, but it was just like random little corridors, and it was just a weird house, man. It's giving me goosebumps thinking about it. And my mum, I remember as we left, I remember my mum saying, like, because the estate agent was showing us around, and there was a lady with a baby there, and I think her husband was away or whatever. And I remember my mum being like, I feel bad leaving that lady there with a baby. But she obviously lived there, but she wanted to get out. But so anyway, we all just thought, no, we don't want to stay in this house. But my nan and granddad were like very keen to buy it. And my granddad was at an event a week later or sometime after. Yeah. And he was, I think he was going to get it. And he was talking to this guy, one of his friends, and he said, no one else knew about this house. It was just the family. And he said, Ron, I don't know why I'm telling you this. I've got to tell you this, but Ramsey danger. I don't know what it means. Ramsey danger. Yeah. And my granddad was like, oh, that's weird. The name of the village that the house was in was Ramsey.
Oh.
And no one else knew that. Nobody else knew about this. And it was just really weird. And my granddad was like, that was enough for him to not buy the house. But I sort of would like to have known what would have happened.
Oh, man.
But, yeah, it was weird.
Especially why it was like so cheap.
Yeah. But because me and my brother didn't understand stuff like that back then, really. But I was talking to my dad recently about it, and he was like, "Yeah, it was on the market for a really good price for what it was. It was quite a big house, a big garden. It was lovely. It was a lovely house, but yeah, that's why. I'd love to know who's living in it now, or
right.
I'd love to go back there and see it. I might do that one day.
Even the same man, like. I mean, I think it'll be cool. Like maybe you can do a little bit of research and see. Yeah. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm sure they wouldn't mind wanting to try to understand this and like say, look, I'm pretty much a specialist in this field, and I have a lot of people I have connections with, and I can help you understand kind of what's going on.
Yeah. I'd be very interested to go
on what's going on there.
Yeah. Even my old house that I used to live in, I'd love to go back there and talk to the people and just say like, I don't want to scare anyone, but do you experience
Yeah, what if they're like, we've never experienced, and they do after you leave?
It's a whole demons in your house today.
Have you seen Shakespeare in this house? But yeah.
Montagues and couplets.
Yeah.
No, we got Bach in this house.
So one day that's something I'd like to do.
Yeah, it's just so weird, just this whole realm of there's so much at this point. And I'm going to say this more and more, but there's so much evidence of just there being more to this life than what we are being shown or told. Yeah. It's so crazy, and it goes beyond normal, like natural. It is like it's supernatural, like and that's why like we are souls with bodies, and because we have these senses that we've adapted and all this stuff over time through hunting and gathering and. Having the fight or flight, but there are all these other senses like that we have that are just beyond, like they just don't make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Like that feeling you get when you're in a room and you know that you're being watched.
Yeah.
But you can't see it. And then later, sometimes you figure out like, yeah, there was somebody in that room, or wow, there was like somebody was murdered. Like
yeah. It's like when you think of someone, like this happens quite a lot. You're thinking of someone, and then they call you. And like you might not have spoke to them.
It happened today, or something like that happened today.
That's paranormal, man. I mean, that's a weird. It's weird, isn't it?
It's not a coincidence. What's that called?
Yeah, it's coincidence.
Yeah, coincidence or whatever. I can't remember. Do you remember what happened today?
Deja vu.
I was just having
right now. You just had deja vu.
I was just having deja vu.
And then yesterday we had something called a time slip. Yeah. It was so weird.
Get this,
and then we've been like saying same things at the same time, not even knowing what we're going to say. It's been really weird.
Really?
I said the same thing a couple times today at the same time.
Deja vu.
It's like we all just met like Kevin. Well, I mean, officially, physically.
Physically.
Is this the first time you physically?
Might I say, ladies, he's very attractive in person.
And they touched me.
Yeah. I might have to edit that out. No, we won't.
Here.
Show us on the tall where they touched.
Right here.
Anyway, what were you saying?
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
man,
Anyways, yeah. Zook and I had like a time slip yesterday, man. Like last night, because we're in the middle of. So basically, there was like an hour gap. It was crazy. So me and Zook did a podcast, and it ended like an hour and a half early compared to the next podcast that we had scheduled, right? So I'm like, cool, man. We got us like an hour and a half. Let's just chill out or whatever. I'm on my phone. He's doing something. And next thing I know, I get a text from the girl we're gonna be interviewing. She's like, "You guys gonna do this podcast or what?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah. We're gonna do it at 9." And she's like, "That was like 5 minutes ago." And I was like, "No, it wasn't." And I looked, and it was 9:05. And I was like, "What?" Damn. And then I looked at Zook,
weird, man.
And I was like, "Dude, we just had a time slip." And Zook was like, "Don't tell me that. Don't talk about that."
I know. Yeah.
So I was like, "I'm gonna go to the bathroom and look at something real quick."
Yeah, like we had to check our lowers, if you know what I mean. Like,
so I was like, "Okay, well, okay."
And that's why we walk with limb.
So we just jumped on the podcast, weird, and after we talked about that, like, what the freak, dude? That was weird.
Yeah,
man.
that is weird.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like where the weird ones at? Like, freaky. What the freak happened?
Missing time.
Yeah.
Do you know something that's weird that keeps happening to me? And this is happening now. This is something that I've noticed in the last couple of weeks. Because I've never paid too much attention to numbers. People talk about numbers, and I do think there is meaning to numbers for sure.
Oh yeah.
But I've never really experienced it. I keep seeing, and I know in the conspiracy world, the number 33 is not good. I'm not 100% sure why, but I know it's not good. I keep seeing 333 or 33.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
constantly. What does that mean?
Yeah. Okay. Well, based from what I gathered, and Zook, I know Kevin's got some info on this. To me, it leads back to the Freemasons, Illuminati, Satanology, stuff like that.
I'm not in that. I'm not in that.
Huh?
I'm not in with them.
Are you
sure?
Are you sure they're trying to give you a psyop or give you subliminal messages?
No.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, it could be like the 33rd level, like I don't know. Does that keep going now on that?
Not well, but I mean, I haven't like dug a whole lot into it, but I know there is something very, very, I don't want to say special, but it's a very specific number, and it's like what ways you add or take away or use it. It just equals something bad.
Yeah.
333 is an angelic number.
Okay.
So, like 33 has like a negative connotation to it just because of the Freemasons. Yeah. But when you have the 333, it's an angelic number that's it's basically a spirit trying to speak to you. So if you're seeing 333 constantly, you're trying some spiritual entity angelically, like this is a positive entity, not a negative one. That's good. Trying to reach you and trying to convey strength or something like that within you.
That's good to know. Because I've been seeing that a lot, like waking up randomly and just seeing 333. And like I go to check my phone and it's 33, and I just keep seeing it like everywhere. I put an episode out the other day, which I never know how long the episodes are when I put them out. I just put them out, and it tells me how long it is after I put it out, and it was 3 hours 33 minutes. And I was like, that's weird, man.
So he brought this up on Conspiracy Tuesday that just came out this week, and right after that episode, I looked into the 333 because I knew that 33 was, and I actually forgot when I read looked into and finding out that it's an angelic number as the 33s. I meant to message you to tell you this, and I totally freaking forgot. But
you haven't slept since Tuesday.
I'm fine.
I'm pretty happy that I'm here and you're bringing it up.
Man, no, thanks for telling me that, man. Because it's been freaking me out a little bit. Because I'm trying not to look too much into it, and then I keep seeing it like constantly, every day, 33, and it's like you get 33 views and stuff like this. I keep seeing 33, man. It's weird.
Yeah, 777 is an angelic number too. And I think 1111 is an angelic number. So
That's good to know.
and you have somebody that's close to you that uses her name as 777. So
Yeah, JJ Rose.
she might be able to tell you
Yeah.
stuff like this too.
Yeah, that's a good point,
So-
man. Yeah, because she's very good. If I have anything that I'm unsure of, like I can ask her, and she normally knows. Yeah.
Yeah, she seems like good people. I haven't had a conversation with her, but I know a lot of people that have reached out to her and stuff like that. So I know she's good people.
Yeah, she'd be a good guest for you guys. She's great, JJ Rose.
Yeah.
Ooh,
But also too,
for sure.
But going back to the number 33 too. Number 33 is also kind of the signs of death, right? Because also the main chronological order with that 33. How old was Christ when he died?
33.
33.
Okay. And boom, right? And you look at some other, like, at the same time too, Buddha, how old was he when he died?
33.
33.
Oh, I didn't know that, man.
And you can keep going.
Interesting.
And it just kind of depends on what circumstances or situations on it. Also too, whenever you're in a Freemason and you enter like that higher level of mastery, when do you really find out what's really going on in that religion? When you're in the 33rd level. When you find out it's a big lie.
Yeah. And when they originally wrote the amendments or whatever for the U.S., the original amendments there was 33.
Yeah.
And there's a lot more now, but
basically when it was like
interesting.
When we were started out, it was 33.
Interesting, man.
That deep into Masonry, whenever you can choose to be a werewolf or a vampire.
Yeah. Satanism, yeah.
Yeah, and then in Satanism, I know once you get to a certain level, like I know in some way it's tied to Illuminati for sure. But like you reach a point of being above morality, and they grant you the choice to be a werewolf or a vampire. Like, it's wild. Like we have this. He's a pastor now, but he has an amazing testimony on it. I mean, it's crazy to where like you're like, wow. So that's what the process is to be a vampire, and it actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, but it's also crazy with that too is that when he was in, they didn't let him know until he hit a certain level, but they only let you know when you hit the age of 33.
Yeah, and it's like you're like you're dying and you're being reborn into something else that would be like an abomination in God's eyes.
Yeah.
Which also I mean, I know this isn't my podcast, so I don't
feel
where
weird
the weird ones
talking
are.
about it.
Where the weird ones are.
But like when I was 33 last year, that's when I felt like I made the most progress in my life, like spiritually. Yeah. So that's what I felt like. That's when my things started to turn around for me. And I mean, I was 33 when I started the podcast. I was 33 when I met you.
What's crazy about that too is I'm reading this up right now too. Angelically, number 33, what it means for certain people is it's spiritual growth, spiritual growth, physical growth in like your career, what you did. Also entering two flamed up relationships is what they call it, like meeting new people. This is really good because you just kind of
interesting, man.
This up right
interesting.
now. Yeah.
So it's a positive, yeah.
It could be positive, but also it could be negative. It just depends on how you look at it.
Yeah.
You know
Man. So I'm going to take positive. I'm going for positive.
Yes,
positive, brother.
I would.
I know sometimes how the devil and the demons are not creative, but they know how people operate. I mean, they've seen us for
mind games, baby, mind games.
That's what it is. It's those little subtle. I mean, and they can't read your mind, like
no, they can't
at all. But they can predict how you are. Even your super subtle like tweaks that you might have, that just judging how you've acted over time, like they can know what that's going to lead to. And then they can leave you having bad habits and all this crap. And dude, it's just, dang, I forgot where to go with this. It's get too deep.
Sorry.
You know what, everybody? If you hear us say that a few more times in the podcast, I'm going to link that video in the show notes because it's a really funny random video. It has nothing to do with this one. But, yeah, I think it actually is like.
Oh, get some. I don't know.
Oh, dude! Oh man, I really did pee a little bit. Okay. Oh yeah. But I was gonna go on and say but the like the demons and the devil is definitely not creative at all. So he'll want to steal, and he'll never be anything like God. He just, even in like Genesis, he wanted to be like God. He never knew he could be God, and so he'll always be something shy or something close to mimicking what like who God is and stuff. So I mean, he'll want to use 33 for something, and I know like God. I mean, they really are just numbers, and God can turn anything into something beautiful. But yeah, I think it's always still good to remain positive because people have it so much worse than what we do sometimes. 100%. I mean, our worst day can be their best day.
Yeah.
So it just all depends on your perspective and outlook.
100%, man. I always try and look on the positive side. Not always easy, but I try. And yeah.
You're a top man, Tommy.
You're a top man,
Tommy,
brother.
I need a shirt.
You're all top man.
Scholar, you are, buddy.
Yes, righto.
I wish I had a corn cob pipe right now. Like, Thomas, you are the man. Yes.
I just want
Let's go smoke a fag,
I love it.
That's cigarettes. People want cigarettes, right? Calm down.
Is like fags cigarette too?
That's what I just said.
Oh, you did? Oh, it's so cool.
I just said.
They do cool. Having a fag,
yeah. Tell them about the UFO sightings.
Dude, let's hear it.
Yeah, man. So I've had a few UFO sightings. The first one when I was 14 actually as well when this happened. We used to play football in the street all the time, or soccer, and we and it was me and my brother and a few friends. We was always with different. I can't remember who the friends were that we were with, but my brother was definitely there, and we was playing football in the street, and we all stopped and looked up because there was this object in the sky that was just really weird, and we didn't know what it was, and we're all just looking at it like, what is it? And the only way I can describe it is it looked like it was like a building. It was orange and silvery, and it looked like a building that you'd see in Dubai, like something that was from the future. That's how I'm seeing it.
Interesting.
And it was just there. It was just not moving, just floating, and we're all just watching it. And we're like, what is it, man? And none of us had camera phones or anything at the time. It was before that. And, we're just looking at it for about 10 minutes. And then the weird thing is we all just started playing football again and completely forgot about it.
Boys.
Amazing.
Completely forgot about it. And don't know if it's just because, I've always loved UFOs and stuff. Like if that happened now, I would not leave until that was gone. I would want to work out exactly what that was. But we just started playing football again, and it was weird because me and my brother never spoke about it. It was not ever really, it was there. The memory was there, but it wasn't like when I started the podcast and I was thinking of the paranormal things that I'd experienced, that never came to me. But I never remembered that experience. But I was on Cat Ward's show, Paranormal Heart, and I was just going through, we're talking about UFOs, and that memory just came to me. And I was like, I just told her. It's really weird because I've not really thought about this, but this is what happened. And then my brother listened to the show and he rang me up a couple of days later or whatever it was. And he was like, bruv, what was that we saw that day? Like he remembered it. And we was like, we spoke about it again, but we'd never talked about it really.
Yeah.
And it's just really weird. It's really weird because it's an amazing thing that we saw. Like, it should be like, it's amazing, but we just sort of, for whatever reason, it just went to the back of our mind. I don't know. So that was weird.
What proximity was it to you guys when you guys were out there on the street playing football?
It was quite far away, but it was really big.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to sort of think what.
Other people have seen it, man.
Do you know the Shard in London? This is another way that I was sort of. It's like a massive building in London. I would just sort of say it was like that, but if it was floating miles away, how you would see it. That's the only way I can. I don't exactly know how far away it was or how big it was. It just seemed like a really weird shaped building that was just hovering, basically. It was just there. It was like an orangey sort of colour and silvery, and it was just long. It was long rather than wide.
Yeah, I'm over here showing them what it looks like.
You got it.
Yeah. Oh crap.
But that,
crap. Sorry. Hold on, we're coming. Oh no. Oh There we are.
Hey.
So that was the first UFO experience,
Yeah.
which was weird.
We're coming back to that.
It was very weird, and it was lit up orange. You said, or was the
Yeah.
sky orange?
No, it was a beautiful summer's day. So it was just a blue sky. So it was a clear day. And
Yeah.
you could just see this object just hovering, wherever it was. I mean, I've no idea what it was. There could be some logical, but I don't know. It just looked like a building that was floating in the sky. So it was just a weird shape, like a building that you'd see in Dubai. Like it just looked like a futuristic sort of look to it. But the weird thing is as well is that we just sort of carried on playing football, and
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like floating cities.
yeah, that's exactly yeah. But this was just like one building, and
Yeah.
it was just long, but it was weird, man.
So you guys went back to playing football, and then you looked back up, and it was gone.
Yeah, I don't even remember seeing it go, or I don't even remember us trying to see if it was gone. I just remember playing football, and then that was it. So whether we just sort of forgot about it, which is crazy to forget about something like that, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It was weird. So that was the first, I would say, UFO experience.
Okay, so what was
He saw one with his mother-in-law. That's fucking super.
Yeah,
Let's hear that.
This is weird as well. So this is in the same place in Brentwood, but in a different location. I used to live in Brentwood, which is just outside London in the UK. Me and the wife, we had a flat in Brentwood, and it was 4 stories high.
Yeah.
And me and my mother-in-law are just looking out the window one day, just talking, and it was a summer's day again, and we sort of had this little forested area opposite our flat. And me and my mother-in-law were just talking, and all of a sudden, 3 objects came up that we noticed, and we was looking like, what's that? And it was like 3 silver balls that were just constantly changing shape.
Yeah.
Like all 3 of them were constantly changing shape, and they were sort of going around each other, going up and up and up, and but they seemed to be connected, but they weren't actually touching. And they were like just changing shape, and we couldn't put a shape to it. And we're like watching it, and we're like, is that a balloon? We're like, we just could not work out what it was, like a silvery color. And we was watching it for a good 5 minutes. It's gone all the way to the sky, and all of a sudden it just went flash, 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 and it was gone. And me and my mother-in-law looked at each other, and we was like, no one's going to believe us that we just saw that. And when we're at family parties now, we always talk about it because it was amazing. And you can see family members like, really? Did you really see that? I'm like, yeah, we really saw it. It was amazing, man. And I had an iPhone at that time when that happened as well, and I didn't even think about recording it.
Oh, I know, man, because everyone gets in like that. I call it like that shock factor. You know, when they see it, they're like,
yeah,
it's like anything. It's like Bigfoot,
Mhm.
UFOs, or like they see something really bad, like an accident. They're like, whoa, you know what I mean?
Didn't even
Where all
think
those
about
teens
it.
at? They pull out their phones.
Yeah.
It's the new generation that have grown up with the phones that think about their phone before they think about anything else.
And that's when I think as that generation gets older, we'll start seeing these things now.
Yes.
Yeah. It's going to be more and more and more. Yeah.
So bust out that phone. Ooh,
yeah. Selfie.
I don't even like think like even when I'm like on vacation with like when I was just on vacation in Florida with the fucking kids and there was some beautiful sights. I took it in.
Just took it in, yeah.
I didn't even like think to bring out my phone. I mean, there was obviously times where I brought out my phone to take pictures,
Yeah.
It would have been nice to have somebody to take pictures of me and my kids, but it was just pictures of my kids with in these situations. So, but it's better. I feel like it's better to have the experience than to actually like record it.
Oh yeah, because when you're recording it, you're not experiencing it. You're just looking at it through the screen instead of taking it in.
It's like sporting events now. When you watch like an amazing scene in sport, when something happens that's amazing, especially in football in the UK, there's people, everyone's got their phone out recording it.
Yeah,
and they're not actually taking in that moment, that amazing goal, or you know what I mean.
Yeah, that's how it is with like concerts, man, and everything. You know.
Yeah, exactly the same. Yeah, everyone's recording it, and it's just a different vibe when that happens.
And when people get into fights too nowadays, like you got like 10 people recording it instead of trying to stop the fucking fight.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Like
I hate that.
Yeah, I just saw a video this morning. This older gentleman was trying to stop these like teenagers, like young people, like they were doing like drifts in the middle of a intersection, as a 4-way intersection, and he's just out there like, what are you doing? Like, cut the shit. And then they got out of that, they stopped doing their little cookies and got out and fucking beat the shit out of him.
Oh man.
And they're stomping on it, he's knocked out, and they were stomping on him, he's fucking out cold already. You know,
and people are just filming it and not jumping.
Yeah, there was like 20 people filming it, and then the same thing with the kid in Las Vegas.
Yeah,
he was trying to protect his friend.
Oh yeah, that was sad, bro.
That one is sad.
Oh, that's horrible.
There was like 15 kids that stomped him.
Once
he was unconscious, they just didn't stop.
Oh man!
And there's several videos. Dude, there's several videos of it.
Yeah.
So that's how they. And I mean, they have 8 people arrested for it, but like I don't know.
I can't stand seeing the kids, man. When the kids are getting beaten up, when there's like one kid and there's 10 kids, I can't stand that, man.
Yeah. I do think that that in that case, the like filming it came in handy. Like now these kids are being held accountable.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
and that's
oh god, I'm gonna pull this up. What's a trip is that this guy we were talking to last night on the podcast. He was talking about like electronics and cell phones and stuff, right? And he was just like breaking it down when it comes to CERN and all these, like he was breaking down in everything in like Hebrew, right? Like with the whole Apple phone, like with the I and then the PHON phone, he broke it down in the Hebrew, which I means self, and then the ONE represents demon, so it's like I demon, right? And then if you notice, it just kind of makes sense, kind of like psychologically. Like I look at my kids, right? I only give them certain times on their phones, but sometimes if I take that away, they turn into monsters, man.
Yeah.
What the
it's worrying,
dude. And then eventually they calm down after, and it's like, dude, this thing is like another freaking animal, man.
Yeah.
Well, shit, like with all these kids nowadays, they're just sucked to this thing. And when times, get rough or whatever, or they simply, when something's out of whack in life and they see some kid getting beat up, instead of subconsciously like, hey, we got to go help this person, they're just this thing. To me, that's why they call it a cell phone, right? You're stuck in a cell with this thing, man.
Yeah, 100%. I think I'm on my phone too much. Like,
I agree. Same here, man. Same.
I'm a bit addicted to it. I can't lie. I hate it. I try not to be, but it's always there. It's always there. And you get a message, you have to look at it.
Yeah, what's funny too is that if you leave the house, what do you check for? I forgot my phone.
Yeah. If you haven't got, it's got everything on it. You know what I mean? It's got everything on it now.
Yeah.
So I think, when you talk about people in the future putting chips in their head and stuff like that, I always say, no way.
Transhumanism, baby. Yeah. Transhumanism.
But people will do it, especially the younger generation. They'll do it because they'll have to, because they won't know any. It's just, that's their life, man.
Yeah, but not only way too, like it goes back to transhumanism. That's another way of them controlling you. They can only go so far with this, but you put this in your brain. That's 100%, it, man. It warps your whole DNA, man. It's
game over. Yeah.
So
they fuck Biden, and then they shut you off, and
it's the same thing, dude. Like in China, they all want to go to electric cars, right? You don't agree with certain things, or you travel how you're not supposed to. They 100%. Shut your car off.
Yeah. You'll be listening to a certain podcast they don't want you listening to, or whatever, and that's it.
Yeah, they listen to Cryptid Warfare. Let's get freaky, or where the weird ones are. Shut up.
No, they're on the list. They're on that list. It's worrying, man. It's scary.
Yeah, so that was kind of like a tangent off of his
we're talking about
UFO.
Go back to that
with the 3. It was 3.
So it was like 3 silvery objects, and they were just constantly changing shape. And I always put that down as UFO thing. Other people have said it could be something else. It could be. I don't know, but
like what?
Like some people said fairies. I've had someone say that could be fairies.
Well, fairies do tie in the UFOlogy, though.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they all connected. Yeah, 100%. So I don't know what it was, but it was really cool to see. And they weren't really big. It was like as big as a basketball. The
The
three
orb?
objects. Yeah,
Think
and
the
they were
orb?
like an orb. Yeah, but they were changing shape. They were like
Yeah,
constantly.
they
It
were-
wasn't a circle.
It wasn't a light,
It wasn't
but
a
it was
light.
just like a shape that just kept moving.
Yeah, and it wasn't. You know the Terminator when
Yeah.
he melts. When the Terminator melts, and that
Uh,
silvery.
yeah.
That's exactly how it looked to me.
It was like
It was
Mercury.
just like so like it was. I don't know. You could probably put your hand through it. I don't know, but it was really weird. And we were just looking at it like, is that a balloon? Like, are they balloons? Are they? And we got a good look. Like, I was looking at it, and it was quite close to the house, the flat as well.
Mm.
And it was just going up and up and up. But then it was the way it shot off as well. They just went like all three of them.
Took off.
Yeah, they just took off. And me and my mother-in-law looked at each other and was like,
You're like, call me.
but even today, like we talk about it all the time because it was amazing. It was so good that we both saw it together as well.
Yeah, I think that's my favorite part of the story is the fact that you saw it with someone else.
Yeah.
But not only that, your patriarch, one of your patriarchs for sure.
Yeah.
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 You know,
The
ain't no
mother-in-law.
denying that.
Yeah.
No one can question
Yeah.
that.
Mhm.
100%. Yeah. Yeah. Because my mother-in-law, she's into this sort of stuff, but it's not like how I'm like obsessed with it. You know what I mean? But we talk about it all the time. It was cool, man. It was a cool experience.
Okay, so you said you had. Okay, so what else? What else, brother?
So UFOs. I had this other weird thing when I was in Norfolk away. We used to stay in a place called Centre Parks, which is like a cabin in the woods holiday.
Mm-hmm.
And we used to stay there every now and again. And we were staying at this place, and I like taking pictures of trees and stuff. So I'm a bit of a geek. And I just saw this nice little tree line, and I was like, oh, that looks nice, man, with the stars in the background and all that. So I was like, let me get a picture. And I just took a picture. And as I took it, something shot up into the sky. And I was like, whoa, that was weird. I don't know if I've got that. And then when I looked at the picture, it wasn't on the picture. But on the iPhone, when you hold the picture down and
it's
sort of
live.
plays a video. Yeah, whatever this thing was, I caught it. And it didn't look like anything special. You know what I mean? It could have been anything. It could have been a firework or whatever. I don't know what it was, but it didn't make any noise or anything like that. It was super quick. But the weird thing was, I looked at this and I was like, oh, I shouldn't have this. I've got a really bad vibe. And I was like, this is weird, man, because I love this sort of stuff. Like I'd catch something like that and I'd put it straight out on Instagram and say, what do you think of this? Whatever. But I just got a bad vibe and I was like, I've got to delete this.
Ah,
And I deleted it.
yeah.
And then I deleted it from my recently deleted. And then I was like, what have I done? Why have I done that? Why have I done that? But I can't explain. The vibe was like so intense, telling me to delete it.
Feeling on you like, dude, you better delete this. Something bad's gonna happen.
Yeah. But the thing is, it was just it wasn't a picture that proves anything.
Yeah.
It wasn't a special picture. It was just literally a flick of something going up. That was it. So I could show you it and you'd be like, yeah, what? You know what I mean? It wouldn't impress you, the picture, but I just
if you wouldn't have told us like the whole background behind it, yeah. But now that we know it, I want to see it.
Yeah, same.
Right.
Same. And it annoys me that I deleted it, but I can't explain the urge that I had to delete it, and I did.
Yeah.
Really weird, man.
Just go back to your telephone provider and get it out of the cloud.
Yeah. It's got to be there somewhere, that's for sure.
Easy process.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So that was weird as well.
You had shadow figures in your house recently too, right? Where you're living.
Shadow figures, waking up and they're there, seeing things in the corner of my eye. I saw a black cat run past me in the house that I'm in now. That was weird, man.
Yeah.
So we're all at dinner, having family dinner, and all the doors were shut, and I jumped out my skin because a black cat ran past me, and I proper jumped. All the kids were laughing. The missus was like, "What's the matter?" And I was like, "I've just seen a black cat run past me." And we've got a dog now, but this is before we had the dog. So I was like, "What's going on?" So I'm all around the house, opening all the doors. There was nothing. There was no windows were open.
Oh,
So that
I
was
don't like those games. Hell no.
no. Yeah, that was weird. Something else really weird happened quite recently as well. As I was leaving work, I don't know if I've told you this, Kevin. I might have done. This was quite recent. This happened. So I work like it's like a 30-second walk from where I live. It takes me 30 seconds to get home. So I'm walking. I finished work quite late, 1 o'clock in the morning UK time, and I'm walking home, and I see a lady just walking past me. That doesn't mean that it's just a lady walking past. The weird thing is you don't normally see people where I live at that sort of time. Like you do sometimes, but it's not very common that I see people. So I've seen her and she's walked to the bus stop, and then I couldn't see her because she was inside the bus stop. And I'm just looking, and a fox, this is weird. I know this is so weird. A fox came out, right? Looked at me and then run off. And I was like, that's weird. As I've got round to the bus stop, to where I can see the bus stop again, I'm expecting to see a lady there. And I've looked and there was no one there.
Think she was
And
a fox?
I don't know.
Skinwalker action going on?
I don't know, man.
Like to me.
Shapeshifter.
But
Yeah.
I was like, I was just about to do an interview as well. And I was like, what? I was like, what? I couldn't process. I was like, what have I just seen? I don't know. I don't know if it was a trick of the angles or whatever. I don't know. But there's nowhere this girl could have gone. There was like no other pathway that she could have took. She would have been in that bus stop, or she would have been walking past.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But it was weird, man.
Buddy.
It was weird. And I've seen that fox since, but I've not seen the girl. I've seen
Are
the
you
fox.
sure it's the same fox?
I don't know. No, it might not be. There's loads of foxes around here, but it was weird, man.
Capture all the foxes and start like, what are you doing now?
Yeah. Was it you?
Exactly.
Are you a lady?
Right now.
Change.
I like Batman. Where's the other foxes at? What's in the box? I know, right? That was a good movie.
Yeah, man.
Okay. So going back to your you were telling me a little incident you had with your kids. You thought they saw a Dogman.
Yes.
Let's go back.
Yeah. Okay. So when I first moved to the house that I'm in now, we've got like a big forest at the back, which goes on for quite a bit, and that was a big reason why we moved here, to have that little forest walk.
Yeah.
And when I first moved here, I used to be downstairs late at night, and I would hear like a growling outside. I'm not saying this is a dog man. I don't know, but I used to hear a growling outside, and I'd always be like, "Oh, who's letting their dog out at this time?" And like I know people do, but it used to literally be like it was in my front growling, and I'd look and I wouldn't see nothing. Don't know. It could be a local dog, whatever. I don't know, but that was weird. And then, so I go on these walks all the time with the kids. And there was one night, me and my two daughters went for a walk, and we got quite high up into the forest. And Amy, my eldest, she would have been 10 at the time, she just started freaking out. She was like, "Dad, she said a Bigfoot." She's like, "Dad, I've just seen a Bigfoot." And I'm like, "Calm down." Like, she started freaking out. I was like, "Calm down." I'm thinking, all right, she's probably seen one of my documentaries. Like, I'm watching Bigfoot stuff all the time. She's seen something she shouldn't have been watching, and she's freaking out. But she's going, "No, he's got yellow eyes, and I've seen him." And she's pointing to where she saw him and stuff. And it was getting dark, so I was like, "Come on, let's go home." And then it wasn't until a few weeks after that, I was talking to someone at work.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know a lot of people in the area at first, and they were telling me about a Dogman law in that forest, that people have seen a Dogman. You can smell it sometimes. People see red eyes and stuff in that forest, and it's in books and stuff, and it's quite a famous sort of local tradition or whatever.
Yeah.
So I found that really interesting. As soon as she said that, I was like, maybe my daughter did see something. And I used to hear the growling. I don't know if that's connected. That could just be someone letting their dog out, but it's weird, man. It's a possibility.
Well, I tell you what, man. Okay, so after we're done recording, we'll chat a little more. let me know what area you're in and whereabouts is at. Because one of my buddies, he runs the International Dogman Project.
Oh, cool.
And he's got guys in your area, guys all over the world, basically. So
Awesome,
they're
man.
like basically like investigators and they're researchers and stuff. And if there's anything in that area, they would totally know about it.
Awesome.
And then I'll
Okay.
give you all that information and stuff. So, and I can
Cool,
even
man.
link you with them.
Yeah, that'd be great. No, thank you. Yeah, that'd be awesome. So I'd love to know more about it as well.
Yeah, man.
I'd
for
love
sure.
to know.
Yeah. Because I'm really interested about that. And to me, you know, kids, man, when they say things, I will take that 100%, man.
100%. Yeah, for sure. Something else, you just reminded me of something else that was weird with my oldest daughter as well. When she was 4 years old, I believe it was. So where we used to live back in Essex, my wife was driving her home one day from school, whatever it was. She was in the back of the car and my wife was driving along and they pulled up to this. There was just a brick wall basically there. And Amy's gone to my wife, Mum, what are those people over there with white things on their faces? Right? And my wife's looked and she's like, it's just a wall, Amy. There's nothing there. What are you talking about? It's just a wall. It's freaked my wife out that she's saying this. She's like, no, I can see people laying down with white sheets over their faces. This is coming from a little girl and she shouldn't know anything like this. So anyway, she's got home and she's like told her mum, like my wife's told her mum what she's just said. And she's like, that's weird, man. Let's look it up, what it is, what that building is. It was a morgue.
Yeah, kids are
freaky, man. Yeah. Freaky.
See different hurts, bro.
Yeah, yeah. And obviously, with the experience I had when I was a kid, when my kids say stuff like they're scared in their room, I sort of listen to it. And they spend a lot of time on our floor, to be honest, even now. So, yeah, man. So that was weird.
Yeah, it's the same thing like my kids sometimes. Whenever we don't really pray over the house or whatever, and like my daughters, they get like bad vibes, and they're like, Dad, I'm getting a bad vibe, something in that closet, man. And of course, we go in there, pray over the house a little bit, and then pray over that area. And I always tell my daughters, I'm like, baby, just come with me. Just come with me. Yeah. Or I shut that freaking closet, and then with my daughter one time, she was really freaking out that something was in there. So I literally just sat there with my freaking AR, my nods on, and just sat there waiting for something to come out, just waiting. And then until she goes to sleep, I'm like, right, she's good. And then I get out, you know what I mean? But, but with my kids, though, I want them to know, like, hey, Daddy trusts you, man.
Yeah,
doesn't matter
100%.
if everyone else thinks you're full of crap, I'm going to believe you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Kids see things. Kids 100% are more open for whatever reason. Yeah, man. So I do as well. So with the kids, they often say that they don't like their room. My two daughters are in a bedroom together, in bunk beds actually. Yeah. And one night, I've told you this, Kevin. They got us up saying that they were scared, and instead of me saying, you can camp on the floor or whatever, I said, I'll come in your room and I'll lay down. And I laid on their floor while they was in the bed. And I was just sort of laying there looking out into the hallway. And I was like, if there's anything there, come on, let's see ya. I don't know why. I was just having a mad moment.
Yeah, it's getting like that dad vibe going.
Yeah, I was like, let's go, brother. I was laying there and I saw like crazy, but I saw like a face. I know it sounds crazy, but like it was just like like a shadow figure, but just a face. Yeah. And I could sort of see the indents of the eyes. It was really weird, man. And it was just floating towards the bedroom. And I'm just laying there like, am I really seeing this? You know, it was really weird, man. And I wasn't really freaked out either. That was quite weird as well. I wasn't like as scared as I should have been.
What did the face look like, Tom?
It was just like, I would say sort of like a skull. Yeah. I couldn't see hair or anything like that. It was just literally the shape of a head. And I could sort of see the indents where the eyes would be. Yeah. And it was just sort of coming towards me. And yeah. So I take the kids when they say that they're scared in their room, I take it seriously.
So what happened after that? It was floating you and all of a sudden it just disappeared?
It just disappeared, yeah. And I was just sort of laying there like, what the You know, like
Yeah.
what have I just seen?
All
And
right, kids, go camp out in the room.
we're moving house. But the weird thing is, I don't get a weird vibe in this house. Like I don't get a nasty feeling in this house. Like
Yeah.
I get a good feeling in this house. Like this has just been a good experience here so far. So I don't. Weird stuff has happened in here, but it's not like how it was when I was a kid. Maybe that's just because I'm a bit older and I'm a bit more aware of what it could be or whatever. I don't know, but it's weird.
Not all spirits are negative.
Yeah,
That's why they say, in the Bible, test the spirits because not all of them are bad.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of that, this is kind of a little prequel, but all right. Do you ever pray over your house or anything like that? Do you ever say nighttime prayers with your kids?
Yeah.
Or not?
Okay. I pray.
Me and Kevin talked to this girl. We've had her on our podcast. Kevin's gonna have her on the podcast. She told us this quick story she had. Okay, we're gonna get into this one right here. This is a good one. Okay, so she's so she basically, whenever she gets home before she goes to bed, she always blesses her house and prays over it, right? Same thing. I do the same thing, Zuck, whatever. But she didn't that day. But before that, her and her boyfriend were driving, and she literally drove right through a portal with her boyfriend. Where her boyfriend is he believes this stuff because of her, but other than that, he really doesn't talk about it.
Well, she said that he likes the stories.
Yeah,
but
he likes the stories.
Believe it.
Okay, yes, there we go. Yes.
So he's
kind of like a skeptic.
He's I would say he's probably 95% skeptic, but I don't think he's a skeptic anymore.
No.
But go on.
Yeah. So anyways, so they were driving. And as they were driving, she saw this bubble in the middle of the road, but it was like an amoeba, kind of going like that. But as she got closer, it looked like bugs, wasn't it? Kind of
that's what
in
she
and
said.
out of it. Yeah, going
And they were gray.
Yes, gray bugs. So she was like, "Holy crap, are we really doing this?" So she drove right through it, and she figured, "Oh, these things are just bugs." Go ahead.
She had her window down and her arm outside of the window, and she didn't feel anything.
She didn't feel a thing. So the truck went through it, the top of her head went through it, the whole body and everything. And as soon as they exited, they're driving. Her boyfriend was like,
"Did you just see that?
Did you just freaking see that?" And she's like, "Yeah, I did. Yeah." So she's
my God, I did. That was English. I meant to do Southern.
Wrong South. That's North, man.
God damn it.
Gosh dang, bro. Yeah. He's, oh, yeah, maybe I did. Oh, I'm talking like him now. It's so hard. Where are we from, man? Okay.
Just don't do an accent. Just say it.
Yeah, I did, baby. Yeah. That's what it is.
Yeah,
there we go. Man, that's what well, then anyway, so after that, she went home, and of course she freaking laid down on her couch, right? And as she was kind of about to fall asleep, she literally felt something in front of her. So she opened her eyes, and this demon entity right in front of her, over her. And next thing she knows, this thing grabs her by the collar like this and is pulling her. Well, he's pulling her soul, her spirit out of her. And she's getting kind of levitated like that, where her butt's on the couch and her back and chest are going up and her arms are hanging by her. And the thing just pulling her soul out of her, right? Well, at the same time, this giant angel, and she's praying at the same time, Lord, help me, from this.
She seriously thought she was going to lose this fight.
Yeah. And this angel, literally, big angel, lands right behind this entity and is just watching. And right as this demon's pulling her out, this angel grabs it by the back of the neck and they just take off. And then her soul lands right back in her physical body. She's like, what the freak? So she starts praying over the house, man.
Wow.
But what she's thinking is that she was asking God, God, why did this happen?
Yeah.
And he's like, look, basically in a nutshell, you didn't pray before you went to sleep. You didn't bless your house. So you left that door open for these things to mess with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
wow.
Yeah. That was a good one. But she's going to be on Kevin's podcast, so.
Yeah, awesome, man.
It's gonna be juicy, dude. She's even got more stories. I'm like, man, what? All right,
man, that's crazy.
Hey, I'll try to get her on yours too, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, she's always going on, dude. Seriously,
freaky stuff, man.
Let's get freaky.
Let's get freaky. But there is obviously, as you guys know, there is a lot of power in prayer. I fully
Oh,
believe
yeah.
that.
100%, man.
Like I was
sure.
just telling her, it's funny that you know, a lot of people don't believe in like religion and Jesus basically, but there seems to be a correlation when people are experiencing this, like these negative entities and all that, and they literally, all you got to say is Jesus. And
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
obviously that's not all you say, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But the minute they hear that name, it's like it had that name has power, whether
100%.
whether he was a real person or not, or that was really his name, because there's debate over that and stuff. But there is power there, and I think the intent is more of
Like what's
basically the
behind it,
smiting hammer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're afraid of it. What these negative entities are afraid of that name.
Yeah, man. Well, I think as we said at the start about sleep paralysis, I think that was a big thing that helped me out of that, is using that name when it happened. And it sort of does still happen every now and again, but it's very rare now. It used to happen like once a week. I used to get sleep paralysis, and I used to get it all the time. And then more recently, it's like I've probably had it 4 times this year, which is not a lot compared to what I used to get it.
Yeah.
And I would say, you know, saying the name Jesus when it's happening and stuff, I think that does have an effect.
Yeah. What was the okay? Yeah, I've had sleep paralysis 3 times, and they all sucked because I've seen things. What was? Did we ever talk about that on your podcast when I had sleep paralysis?
I don't think we did.
Okay, well, we'll get to that in a little bit, but this is about
You got to come back on, man. You got to come back on.
Yeah, just go back on and show.
Yeah, you come back on.
Just come back. Yeah, I ain't saying nothing. This is about Tommy. Okay, so
Same shit, and they can't tell me nothing.
anyways, so got me off track now. I'm thinking that song in my head.
Sorry.
Okay, so anyways, so out of all the sleep paralysis you had, what was the scariest one?
Oh man, it was always very similar. It was always the same entity that I used to feel was in the room.
Oh,
So
I forgot about that entity.
Yeah, man.
Okay,
It's
go on,
weird.
sorry, go.
It's very weird.
Yeah.
So sleep paralysis, there's a debate. Is it a paranormal thing or is it a natural thing? I don't know. I'm still, for me now, I'm saying it's more of a paranormal thing just because of what I've experienced. I know it's different for everyone else, but so when it used to happen to me, this is going back to my old flat that I used to live in before the house I'm in now.
Yeah.
It would happen at least once a week where I would be trying to go to sleep and I don't think I'm asleep. I feel this weird vibration go from my body, like a vroom, vroom, and it's a nice feeling. Yeah, and it's a nice feeling. I'm like, this is a nice feeling, vroom, whatever it is. Yeah, but then I can't move, and I'm stuck.
Yeah,
and there's this. I can't look around the room, but I can, in my mind's eye, I can see an entity in the room. It's really weird. And it's like a black mass of just evil. That's just how I see it.
Mm.
And it's in my head, I'm like, this is a witch. But I know it's a witch. I know that sounds weird. But it's the only way I can. It's like just a knowing. And I'm battling whatever this thing is. And I'm swearing at it. I'm leave me alone. I'm swearing. And eventually I'm out of the paralysis. And I'm like, oh man, like that was bad, whatever it was. And then go back to sleep or whatever. But I never used to put it down as a paranormal thing. But I used to just think I was stressed. Work was stressing me out. I wasn't getting enough sleep. That's how I used to, like in my mind, sort of say, okay. I never told anyone about it. Never used to talk about it. But it used to happen so regularly. I sort of got used to it. It was always the same entity. It was always that witch, black, dark mass energy, whatever it was, that I could see in my mind's eye, but it was trying to take me over, basically. Yeah. That's how I can. And then as soon as I moved to this house, it sort of stopped. So I don't know if it was something to do with the house, the flat, or I don't know. But when it's happened more recently, like it happened a few weeks ago, to be honest, where where I was just sitting up watching the telly, and all of a sudden, wherever it was came over me. But it wasn't this dark witch. It was something else. You know, it was another entity. I don't know what it was, but I sort of now, in the moment, pray, and it's gone. It goes straight away. But yeah, man, it's weird. It's weird how it sort of stopped when I left the place that I was in to here.
Yeah.
But I still get it. I do still have it. But obviously not as much as I used to.
Yeah, I hear you, man. What was funny is when you said it was a witch. If you look at studies and stuff like that for people who have sleep paralysis, like the majority of the things that they see are a hag or a witch.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's weird because I didn't know that. I never really looked into it. I just sort of every time it happened, I just brushed it off. I was like, it's weird. Don't want to talk about it. Never told anyone about it. Just sort of got on with it. And then it was, as you said, looking into it, you hear the hag. People see and they call it the hag. And I was like, that's what I experienced, man. That's exactly what I experienced. Yeah. And that for me was when it was like, this is paranormal. Like that's not. I don't think that's sleep deprivation or whatever they say. It might be. I don't know. But for me, it definitely feels something paranormal.
Yeah. I almost wonder if that's what that shadow figure that I recently experienced that episode 112 that you just put out this week.
Yeah.
That I talk about. I almost wonder because it was a shadow figure, but it had long flowing hair.
Mm-hmm.
And I almost kind of like wonder if that was like maybe an old hag or a witch.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Now
and that ran to you, didn't it? That ran
well, it wasn't 100%. I wouldn't say it was running, but it was definitely moving pretty fast towards me. Like it was like I said, it was like a charging. Yeah, it was like you could see me better on here, but like so it was just like coming at me like this.
Oh
hell!
And I was like,
his feet was stuck in clay.
Man.
Yeah, and her hair was just like flowing and stuff.
Oh jeez!
Like super, it scared the crap. And obviously, I was in the paralysis state, and I could see my freaking my phone was just out of reach, and I'm just laying there. And supposedly, so I can't remember who told me, but recently, like to get out of paralysis, you just either wiggle your fingers or your toes.
Yeah.
And you can break out of it. But I didn't know that. And I'm just going like this with my fingers trying to reach for my phone. And I couldn't turn my head, but I have my eyes darted to the side or whatever. And then finally I broke out and it was just it was almost like it was about to crawl onto the bed, like pick up its leg or like rest its knee on. Yeah. And I just lit it up and it was freaking gone.
The trip.
Yeah. So I wonder, I don't know, because the old hag and like witch stuff, like I feel like it wouldn't have like dissipated if I lit it up, if it was an old hag or whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know if it was like a warning of some kind or what. I haven't experienced it since. So, but there's a lot of people that have these like experiences similar to that are like they get a witchy sense or they get the whole old hag.
It's weird, man.
I was doing some studies too off of that. It's either the witch, the hag, or if not like a reaper, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mine was a reaper. That's what I had. I'm only going to tell you one. And then we'll get on yours and we'll talk about
we'll get into it
more onto that. But my first one I ever had was this was when it was like years ago. But like my first one I had, I just got done running security for our church. We had like a worship night downtown. So anyway, so like I said, I usually when I get home, when everybody goes to bed, I pray with my kids, I pray with my wife, bless the house, and then we all go to bed, right? Well, my kids and my wife, they got home before I did. So anyways, I was running security at the church. Got home late. It was about, I think it was about 1 a.m. I got home. I was so tired. I just locked the door. I didn't even bother crawling into bed. I went straight to my couch and just fell out, dude. So after that, I woke up with our front door shutting and opening and closing. And how I'm laying like this, and my pistol's underneath like the couch pillow. And I look and I have a big clock across from me in the dining room, and it was 3:03. And I'm hearing walking down the long hallway, past the master bedroom, past the kitchen to me, and I'm trying to reach for my pistol, and I can't move. I can't talk, nothing. I feel a heaviness on me, and I'm like, I almost feel like Leonardo DiCaprio off of Wolf of Wall Street, where he takes those what was it? What are they called?
Quaaludes.
Quaaludes. Get off the food. That's how I felt, dude. Like I couldn't talk. So as I'm reaching for my pistol, I see Vince Vaughn walking through the hallway. You know Vince Vaughn from Wedding Crashers, right?
Yeah,
But
man.
Vince Vaughn's like 7 foot tall, though, man. And he's walking up, and he walks right up to the edge of the couch, and his hands in his pockets, and he's smiling at me. He's like, "Hey, buddy, you can't move, can you?" And he goes from smiling to serious to dead looking at me. And he goes like this. He pulls the top of his hair and rips his whole skin off. Everything falls off like a sheet, and it's a Grim Reaper. This thing looks like those Grim Reapers off of like Lord of the Rings, right? You know when they're chasing Frodo?
Yeah.
That's what it looks like. And as it rips its whole silhouette off of Vince Vaughn, I see this thing, and it gets in front of me like this far away from my face, and I feel the hot breath, man, on me. And so I'm trying to say, and I'm trying, I just want to kiss your toes. And I'm so at that same time, I'm trying to say, in the name of Jesus, get out of my house. But I can't. I'm trying to reach for my pistol at the same time, but at the same time, I'm trying to say, Jesus. So I probably look like, if my wife walked out, I would look like an idiot. Like, what's wrong with you? But anyways, so I started really meditating on it, and I finally got the nerves to say, in the name of Jesus, get out of my house, and that thing was gone. And then I got up, just, looking around and prayed over my house, looked on my kids, prayed over them, went to my wife, prayed over them, and then I went right back to bed.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
Because they say these entities, like you say, it was like Vince Vaughn, like they can sort of show you something that, not that you want to see, but something that you're familiar with.
Familiar with, yeah.
You hear that a lot.
Yeah.
Man, that's freaky, man.
That is freaky.
That is freaky.
Yeah, man. Sorry, man. You would kind of get over here, buddy.
Yes, Poppy.
There's something to it, though, man. The sleep paralysis. It's
it's time to go skiing.
I'm just gonna watch.
Oh, man. You got any questions?
Any questions?
I'm nervous. Okay. No, I've just been admiring them, like, dang. Have you noticed? I know it's crazy because
you just like out of nowhere, like, yeah. So, have you noticed?
See, this is what I deal with. But have you noticed in starting this podcast, like, has your spiritual senses like strengthened, or do you think a lot of the things you're seeing now have kind of worsened,
like ramped up?
Yeah, like activated.
Yeah.
Question.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. I feel like I'm more closer to spiritually than I've ever been, to be honest. Like a lot of friends that are like Christians, and they say to me like I shouldn't be looking into this sort of stuff, and you shouldn't be looking into it. You shouldn't be talking to people about this sort of stuff, and I get that quite a lot. But I feel probably more spiritually open than ever and safer than ever, if that makes sense. I don't know why, but that's just how I feel. I feel closer to my religion. I feel like this sort of talking about this sort of stuff has brought me even closer to my religious views and stuff like that, So, yeah, man. But I do feel like I'm having more activity, more things happening. I'm noticing more things. So I do feel like talking about this sort of stuff and looking into it, you do invite it a little bit, and you are going to experience stuff, and you have sort of got to be careful looking into this sort of stuff, really. But I do think you've got to be aware that it is dangerous stuff.
Yeah, I agree. Because to me, like once you open that door and you tap into the stuff and you talk with people, to me, you put a bigger target on your back. And not only that, too, I noticed with me starting this podcast with Zook, I noticed sometimes like my family's been affected too. And I really just got to like really be conscious of that when it comes to certain entities and stuff like that. Because if they can't get a hold of me, they're going to go after the people I love the most. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the thing I always think about too. So
yeah,
I honestly, I rather have the target on me than my family, hands down.
Same.
Yeah, 100%, man. Yeah. Yeah,
That's
for
what I
sure.
feel like. I don't know. I never really thought of it this way, but I really feel like God just put this on my mind and heart to share. But because I'd always been open to the paranormal, and then
Paranormal.
I'm going to give you a paranormal. But since doing this journey and just in general, I'll go right now. Like I realized just the power of community, and especially the power of a voice and how God can use and speak through people. It's amazing. And
Yeah, man.
so many people think, and some of them they just
Preach.
yeah, like some of them think that they're the only one and they're so alone. And that's why starting a podcast, I believe having a voice, because a lot of people like they don't even want to see somebody else. Like they just need to hear that they're okay, they're sane, and there's someone they can talk to or listen to. And there are, certain people that God puts in certain positions because he knows that they can handle it. And I think because just with my past and my personal preference, I just don't want to deal with paranormal like I did with a lot of it growing up, and that stuff followed me. But too, that's where, as you mentioned earlier, like how important prayer is. Prayer is way more it's way more important than people realize, and it's way more powerful. Like, we really, we don't wrestle against flesh and blood, but principalities, rules of this age, and the demonic and spiritual warfare. It's happening around you all the time, 24/7. And and once when you do grow closer to Christ, you can actually see more of it. You cannot see all of it, but you can see it because some of it is just outside of our own perception of time and understanding. So we'll never fully understand, but like the wisdom God can give you from this and through helping others, it's so powerful. And because I used to, I don't know, like literally up until I asked you that question, and you said something that triggered me, and then God just put these minds in my thought. Like it really was God. Like, because I never thought this before, and I haven't even looked into this kind of stuff. It was just about my own my own opinion. But it was just it's very humbling, just to see like how he can still change the minds and hearts of people. And I'm just speaking to myself right now, but I just think it's cool what you're doing, because whether you notice it or not, you are making a difference and an impact.
You are, bro.
And it is.
We all are. It's
beautiful and it's an amazing thing. But man, with being a leader, there is just so much responsibility. And of course, the one of the most important thing, other than being a follower of Jesus, is just being a strong spiritual leader of your household and your family. Which, man, we need so much of that. Mm-hmm. We always have, but now times are definitely not going to get much easier. But it's so cool, like really what it is you're doing. And you are leading and you're guiding others too. So I don't know. I just think I
appreciate that, man. Thank you.
I think that's cool, man. We got someone like you on the opposite side of the lake, is what I call it.
That's it.
The pond.
That's it, man. But that's the thing, because I used to listen to podcasts before doing my podcast, and they helped me out massively. There were some shows that I used to listen to weekly, and it became a part of my week. And if I was having a bad day, that could make my day. Listening to a good podcast that you're comfortable with, and I thought to myself, I'd like to be that for someone else. That's always going to be there at a certain time of week that you can just zone out, that's what we all do.
Yeah,
people can zone out and listen to us and be in our circle, and it's nice, man. That's really why I started the podcast.
I think it helps too. Like I said, when I was on your show recently, that talking about this stuff helps with your mental health, because a lot of people think they're fucking crazy. So just listening to somebody else's story and that they have a similar experience, they're like, oh, maybe I'm not that crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. 100%, man.
So like they don't have to be a guest on the show or anything like that. Just listening to somebody that has a similar experience is pretty helpful in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure.
Like my Dogman encounter, like I had no idea what it was until I started listening to podcasts that like explained like had like similar experiences, and they were dogmen, and I'm just like, well, maybe that is what I experienced.
Yeah,
so, I say that I encountered a dogman. I still don't know 100%, but like all the
we'll go with that,
all the
signs,
that word that
lead up to it,
retard dogman.
So,
big way.
Yeah, no, for sure, man.
The giggity
googity.
And you guys, you probably get people that don't want to be on the show, but reach out to you to tell you their story, just to because they know that we're open to it.
Yeah, and then I asked them to be on the podcast, and then
no, man.
That's right. No, I'm just glad they get it out.
But it's nice. It's nice to be able to hear people out, because some people like don't have anyone to talk to this stuff about.
Yeah.
So it's nice, man.
Yeah. For sure. And I think it's pretty cool, like that, too, within this podcast realm, like that we've all connected and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, just like the minute I talked to these guys, the very first time, it was like we were already best friends, and then it just seems like they're like dudes I went to high school with right now, like all day today at Cryptid Con. So it's, I don't know. I think meeting new people and making friends within the people that have their own podcasts too is helpful. I mean, and then we bounce ideas off of each other. We send each other guests. Like I've already gotten people that they know as guests. I get guests from you. I send you people that I think is good for your show. I've given them suggestions for their show. So like, I don't know.
We're all just pimping each other out, baby.
It's a very supportive group, like especially in the paranormal.
Yeah,
we're all like really together, and that's what I love about it, man.
Yeah, and it's weird because I hear some people talk about like how the drama between podcasters. I personally have not experienced that so far.
No, man.
I mean, I hear people tell stories about it, but like whatever, like personally, because I want you, everybody. I want everybody that does a podcast to succeed just as much as me.
100%. Yeah.
So
win together, baby. That's it.
What do like? It's your decision on who you let in, basically, like your house. So, you want to be able to have like an environment that you want to create, and having those people to build that environment. That's why, like podcasting, you can make it whatever you want it to be.
100%.
But too many people like they focus more on the numbers and don't let anybody go on it or jump on. You have to have like a certain reason why they're on the show. Like, is it going to give to your community and listeners and stuff?
Yeah, you got to have like a certain purpose. You can't just be putting on people on there just because you need noise. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know,
100%, man.
So that's what I was saying. Like you and Kevin are like slaying it, bro. Like you guys are slaying it.
I always say, you put out your vibe, you find your tribe. That's something that
absolutely.
You find your people, man. And I'm moving to America because I want to be closer to you guys.
Please
so
do.
I'm coming.
Go out. Yeah, why don't you move in the middle of us, like, you know, that way we can all meet halfway.
That would be
where would be that at? New York.
Oh crap! I don't know if I can have
that. I'd love to live in New York, man.
Upstate New York.
I'm coming. I'm thinking New England. That's what I'm thinking at the moment.
We'll be there. Yeah. Hey, man, he needs.
I'm coming.
Too,
yeah, I'm coming, man.
Have
you got a room? Have you got a spare room?
Yeah. Go with Kevin. Yeah, I got Zook, so Kevin needs help. Go.
I'm coming, man. I'm coming. It's definitely something I'm considering doing. It's not easy just to go over.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I'm talking to the wife. We're working on it. But it's something that seriously considering. 'Cause I love it. I love America, man. I want to
I can
come.
tell because that hat.
Yeah, I've got loads of different. I've got New York. I've got all different hats.
LA, gang
LA. Yeah,
Oh crap!
I got all different ones. I've got a New York one here.
I know. I see
Vikings.
that.
Yeah.
Where's that Vikings hat guy?
Where's my Vikings? Let's have a look. There's Skull, baby.
Okay.
I like New England now though, because I'm moving to New England. I like New England now.
So you need Patriot shit.
Yeah.
I'm a Patriot as well.
Yeah, you're fitting great up there.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man. Like if we ever hang out, I'm gonna bring my buddy T. You guys look totally like.
He's a good-looking guy.
Bangers, huh?
Yeah.
Is he a good-looking guy?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
You
he's
guys.
the other side of the pillow. If you listen to this T, I'm just kidding. I don't know if you know what that reference is. But... oh no!
There he goes again. The snort master. Yeah, we got old Kevin to snort twice so far. We're working on the third one.
Yes.
That's a fun car ride.
Well, is that it, brother? We're running about 150.
Trying to think if there's any more experiences. I think that's it, man. I mean, there is more stuff that's happened. But there was one definite experience recently that I can share with you.
Yeah.
If you want to end on one, it was at a church. My friend recently got married, and I was the best man. And everyone was in the church before the wedding, and me and him went to the toilet, which was not connected to the church. We had to leave the church, and it was like another building next to the church. And as we were walking into the toilet, there was like a disabled toilet, and we could hear some like really loud music or something going on in there. And I sort of joked and banged on the door. I was like, "What are you doing?" Like, and then, we both went to the toilet. It literally took us 10 seconds, came back out, and the door was open. So there was no one around. And I was like, I went to my mate, like, I'm going to try and scare who's ever in there. And I opened the door. I went, "What are you doing?" And we both heard a voice say something to us. And my mate, he's not massively into the paranormal. And he's just about to get married as well. So he's probably not, he's more worried about that. But we heard a voice shout something at us from the toilet. And we both just looked at each other. And I was like, "What was that?" And he was like, "No idea. That is so weird." Anyway, we didn't talk about it anymore that day because he went off to get married. But that was really weird, man. And that happened a few weeks ago. That was quite strange.
Dang, that's bugging me like a ghost in the bathroom. Like,
Literally,
but
yeah.
you don't know what it said. It's like,
But we don't. But it was like,
I'm
it was like an angry sort of. It was weird, man. It's so weird. And I said to Joe, I was like, "You've got to come on the podcast and talk about that." And he's like, "Yeah,
It's like, "Yeah, I ain't doing it."
no." But yeah, so that was a recent one.
You should call it a sneaky episode, a sneaky show, and have a recorder on you. You guys just,
Yes.
talk about it. And you're like, "All right,
Bring
cool."
it back up. Yeah. So how did you feel? Yeah, man. It was weird. It was weird. There was another weird experience. There's been quite a few recently. Like a few just little weird stuff happening. Yeah, man. There's always paranormal stuff going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Like I said, whenever this is done, just shoot me all your information. I really want to get this information out there to International Dogman Project and see what they find.
Yeah, man. That'd be interesting.
Yeah. Other than that, man, I guess that's it. We're coming up on about 2 hours, so
Don't forget to do your outro before you stop recording.
dude, seriously. Yeah, we've been having anyways, yeah. So let's definitely remind everybody again, where can people find you at, Tom?
So I'm on all the main podcast platforms. Tommy Callum's Let's Get Freaky, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, X, everywhere at TC Let's Get Freaky Podcast. If you've had any crazy experiences, get in touch, man. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you very much for having me on the show.
Oh, definitely, man. Yeah, it's definitely been a long time coming. So we mean to have you on the show. So
2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah. So,
I'm kidding.
Shut up. Anyways, yeah, man. Just want to say thanks again got to hang out with
Thank you.
Kavinsky here. So
Yeah, that was an extra bonus, man. Awesome. I love you guys. Thank you so much.
yeah, we love you too, brother.
Absolute honor, man.
Yeah, man. Like I said, just blessings to you and your family, man. You be safe out there, and yeah, man. We'll definitely have you back on for sure.
Awesome. Thank you very much, guys.
Other than that, guys, thanks for hanging out with special guest, not just Tommy Boy, but Kavinsky from Where the Weird Ones Are. That's all I got.
I have to do this.
Oh gosh, yes. What are those? All right, guys. Well, that's all we got. Just remember, we're not wrestling against flesh and blood, but against principalities and rulers of this age. And remember, guys, it's even though times are bad now, it's going to get better. Keep your heads up. Blessings to you and your family. And Suki Poo, what do you got?
And have a good evening, day, afternoon.
Kevin,
Night.
say later.
Stay weird.
Yeah.
Hit it. Where's it at?
Where is it?
There it is right there. Oh, we're still recording.
Oh, it's right there.